Of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few centers I look to trade and sell this week. The first guy, Jusuf Nurkic of the Portland Trailblazers. And Nurkic here, he's been playing good basketball since he returned a few weeks ago, and he's putting up big numbers, no doubt about it. On the season, 14.4 points a game, 10.9 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.2 steals, and 53% from the field. But the last few weeks here for Nurkic, 19 points a game, 14 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 1.6 steals a game, and 52% from the field. So right now, he's putting up monster numbers, especially with Damian Lillard possibly out for the whole season here. And they need a scoring punch. I know CJ McCollum, he came back recently into the lineup, but Nurkic right now is having huge ball games, and I think while he's healthy and his value's at its peak, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, this is a perfect time to trade him away and get a more consistent player and a player who's not as injury prone as Nurkic's been throughout the last few seasons. So the last few games here for Nurkic, January 21st at Boston, 29 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, a block, a 3, 56% from the field. January 23rd at Toronto, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 55% from the field. Then January 25th, versus Minnesota, 20 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 44% from the field. So right now, 6 games in a row here for Nurkic with double-doubles. And his value, like I mentioned, is at its peak, and I think you could pull off a nice one-for-one deal here. And right now, while his value's at an all-time high, this is a perfect time to sell him high and trade him. The second center I look to sell this week in trades, Bismack Biyombo of the Phoenix Suns. So we know Ayton's banged up with the ankle injury, and Biyombo, what a signing it's been for this Sun team during when a lot of guys were out with the safety and protocols, and they had no choice but to go to the free agent pool and got guys. So Biyombo in a month span here with this Phoenix Sun team, 10.8 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.2 blocks, and 70% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, filling in for Ayton on and off, 14 points a game, 10 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 70% from the field. So Ayton's going to come back. And Biyombo, he's not going to be playing the 25, 30 minutes a game like he has over the last few games here is Biyombo. So right now, while his value's high and while he's getting playing time, maybe you could put him on your trade block and get something that's going to be more consistent. Because once Ayton comes back any day now, I would believe he's only going to play Biyombo probably 10, 15 minutes a game, and obviously you're not going to get good value and production out of that. January 20th at Dallas, 9 points, an assist, 2 steals, 66% from the field. January 22nd versus the Indiana Pacers, 21 points, 13 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 75% from the field. And January 24th, another big game, 16 points, 13 rebounds, an assist, a block, and 70% from the field. So Biyombo, no doubt about it, he's putting up numbers and he's producing. But right now, it's just not going to last, obviously, with Ayton's return around the corner. And this is a pickup and sell-off type of move here. And if you could pull that off, that would be great for your fantasy team, in my opinion. And the third and final center I look to sell and trade this week's Joel Embiid. But if I'm going to trade Joel Embiid and then sell him this week, you're going to have to get a boatload, because right now he's playing out of his mind, and he's been probably the best fantasy player over the last month is Joel Embiid. On the season, another monster year for him, no doubt about it. 29 points a game, 10.8 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.4 blocks, 1.3 threes a game, and 49% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, his numbers have gone way up. 36.3 points a game, 11.3 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.5 blocks, 1.4 threes, and 55% from the field. So Joel Embiid, the main thing with him is always health. And right now, he's played every game so far here in January, but I just don't see it lasting with his long track record of missing games, of load management and all that. And I know the Sixer team isn't at full health. Ben Simmons hasn't played a game at all this season, and Embiid right now carrying this team on his shoulders with monster ball games. But right now, if you could put Embiid on your trade block, I think you could get 2 solid, great role players for your fantasy team that are probably in the top 30 or 40 in the rankings this year. So the last few games here for Embiid, January 21st versus the Clippers, 40 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, 3 threes, 60% from the field. January 23rd at the Spurs, 38 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, a 3, 50% from the field. Then January 25th versus the Pelicans, 42 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, and 50% from the field. So right here, He's putting up insane numbers right now as Embiid. And I'm not just going to sell him just to get anything. You got to get cream of the crop, 2 top players, in my opinion, especially with the production he's been putting up. So that's a few centers I look to sell and trade here for Week 15 of the fantasy basketball season.